Today is going to be an amazing day, and here's why.
Have you been doing those letters to yourself with Dr. Sherman?
I've been trying to. Have you ever felt like nobody was there?
No one signed your cast. Now we can both pretend we are friends.
I'm sorry about my brother.
Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? I wish everything was different. Wish I was part of something. Wish that anything I said mattered. Have you ever felt like you could disappear?
DEAR EVAN HANSEN.
Yeah, that's mine. I'll just take it. Wait, I need that back. You could fall, and no one would hear. Connor took a letter from me, and it was an assignment from my therapist.
Ew.
Even when the dark comes crashing through.
Connor's mother and stepfather are here to see you.
When you need a friend to carry you.
Connor wanted you to have this.
And when you're broken on the ground.
Dear Evan Hansen, he wrote it to you.
His last words, Connor took his own life.
He won.
Ben Platt, you gorgeous human, fuckable human being.
That's Laura. I'm Zach, and before we go any further, I need to question the people on Letterboxd, or the general people, the general consensus who watch movies, the general consensus who seem to watch musicals and seem to be unable to suspend disbelief. Let me start with probably the most remarkable thing about this film is that you never really get used to the fact that he looks like that. Even the late moments of this 137-minute film, I was still jolted by occasional cuts to Ben Platt's puffy, doughy visage, newly horrified by his Inland Empire-esque facial contortions and body language that has been seen in cinemas only once before in F.W. Murnau's expressionist classic Nosferatu. Fuck off, you pretentious cunt, Esther. Here's another. I love the part when Evan Hansen visits a beach that makes you old. Fucking reprehensible. It will win all 10 Golden Globes. Remember, kids, if you go through with a decision to end your life, a psychopathic Mark Zuckerberg Gollum crossbreed will manipulate your family, exploit your death, and fornicate with your sister. What is wrong with people with just sitting back and being taken away by the emotion of music?
Anyway, let's not get hung up on everybody else's reviews.
Yeah, this is about us.
It is.
Laura.
Zach.
Dear Evan Hansen.
Sincerely, me.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the best portrayal of mental health issues I've ever seen, tackling suicide, social anxiety, general anxiety, depression, and the expectations of social norms to fit in. And, you know, if you look deeper into why he lied, well, you know, why did he lie? Because he was socially awkward. And when you are socially awkward, you are socially inept, I suppose, because of that anxiety that cripples you every day. You cannot argue back with someone. You can't tell them, oh, no, that's not quite true. It just doesn't, you know, that's how mental health works. It's how anxiety works. And that's obviously not being accepted, and it makes me question, might be wrong, but it makes me question whether the people that say, you know, that shit on this character, yeah, okay, he did a bad thing, I get that, but the people that shit on this character, have you ever experienced anxiety in any form? Do you have any idea what anxiety feels like deep inside? And something you said, Zach, when we were watching it, is that towards the end, Evan's mum says, I didn't realise you were hurting this much. And you said nobody ever realises how much you're hurting, or whether you're hurting at all. And it made me realise that it's not that people don't realise you're hurting, it's because it is physically impossible to explain to somebody what you're feeling and how that feels. I cannot explain to you what anxiety feels like. No matter how hard I try, I could never, ever, ever do it justice, so to speak. I could never fully explain what anxiety feels like to live on a daily basis. I can tell you that it makes me feel nauseous. I can tell you all of the cliched
bulletins,
the somatic symptoms that you get from anxiety. I can tell you that it makes me feel sick. I can tell you that it makes me feel shaky. I can tell you that it gives me a headache. It gives me all of the things that that might make you think, oh, I won't go out because I'm ill, I've got a bug, there's something wrong. I can tell you all of the psychosomatic stuff, but I can't tell you how the anxiety actually feels, because it is unexplainable. It's completely unexplainable.
Whereas Ben, in this role, portrays that.
He does
in a
portray
physical manner as well. And through the music and gestures, there's this GIF going around from Tony Award winner to GIF King. It's like, yeah, we can all take like fragments of a scene and blow it out of proportion and laugh about it, but this guy is given one of the most real, honest portrayals of social anxiety and depression, even though it may be ticky and it makes certain people feel uncomfortable. That's the reality. Imagine what it's like to be this poor fucking guy.
This reminded me so much of how you have previously explained autism. His acting really portrays a form of autism, I suppose, which I think in a way...
autism is very social deficit,
yeah. But the thing is I think there is a big difference, but there is an element that is what general anxiety feels like. And I think that's the only way, I'm not for a second saying that I know what autism feels like, but I do know what anxiety feels like for me. And that is how he's portrayed it. It's just that I have that on the inside. And I think there is an element of that it's like, it's almost like, I don't know, there's an element of like what you because you start thinking to yourself, well, is that an autistic thing or is it an anxiety thing? Even someone like me, I'm not autistic. I know I'm not autistic. You could take me to the doctor and I'm sure they would agree with me. But there are some things that I think I can absolutely relate with that. I've acted like that. So, you start to really mix these mental health issues into this one big ball of mental health issues. And it's just, the portrayal was incredible. It's such a sad story.
And the other characters, where he's introduced to other characters and they're like, you're not the only one, dude, trust us. It's just different ways of showing it and hiding it.
Yeah, because
being anonymous. And
Alana, the girl, who, I loved her hair.
Lovely hair, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I loved
her
hair.
She was like, it was like braided in bunches and it was beautiful. She expressed how I would say I outwardly seem.
Yeah.
When I'm anxious, I'm anxious on the inside. And she explained about how you just show this outside, and that's very much how my mental health is portrayed, because there's certain things that I have to do. I have no physical choice but to do things. So you have to put it underneath, you have to bury it, you have to put it aside to get on with the things that you've got to get on with.
Yeah.
But Ben Platt showed more, I would say, how you outwardly act sometimes, but explained in his acting exactly how we all feel, I think, those that suffer with anxiety.
And this is specifically talking about the performance, not just the singing.
No, it's everything. But that has put his acting has portrayed exactly how I feel on the inside, and I feel that is fairly universal.
Yeah, and helped by the direction, of course, as well. How they're framing shots, but it's very it's funny. You're in this insular world whilst trying to.
Sorry, from here. The frying pan has got a screw in it, and it looks like a Funko Pop, half of a face of this old guy with grey hair and a grey beard, and I can just see the eye. It's so odd. I'm sitting there, why have you got a Funko Pop?
Are you sure you haven't been injecting heroin into your eyeballs?
I haven't been injecting heroin into my eyeballs.
It's easy to attain where I live.
What, the heroin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to inject it into my eyeballs.
No. Ouchie.
Ouchie.
Anyway, where were we?
The portrayal that Ben Platt provides is how I feel internally, how some people externalise their anxiety, but also probably how they feel internally. And it's so there was nothing I couldn't relate to. Yes, okay, I haven't lost somebody to suicide, but I have lost a person. And yes, okay, I didn't have situations where I was totally alone and had absolutely no friends, but I did have moments in my school life where things were like that, and it's just, there was nothing I couldn't say. There was nothing there that I could genuinely say, oh no, I haven't experienced that, I haven't felt that.
Exactly, and it basically extemporalised such eternal forces. I cried throughout because, and you know, it is you're very cynical if you're going to come away with this saying it's a bad representation or it's just a negative depression slog. It's uplifting. Do you know it's uplifting? Because of its portrayal and its representation. It's uplifting. It was almost like, oh my God, someone's actually made a movie that will appeal and probably save a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just the music, also the music is sensational. Great lyrics, great pitter-patter. It's got its moments of comedy. There's a sensational sequence where they're between Evan and his not friend but gay BFF but family friend who are devising emails exchanges, and through the musical vignette they're playing these scenes, and it's just charming. It's charming. It's heart-wrenching. It hurt me, not in a sense of it hurt me. Oh no! It brought a lot of emotions to the fore. It allowed me to express. You realise no matter how stable you think you are, you're not stable. No, it was that anxiety, the sensation of that in a performance, and in the whole almost DNA of the movie and the style and how it's put forward to you, but also in just the frame of the character, also in the how would I go about it? The thing about family got me because I feel abandoned by my family. I've always felt abandoned by my family. As much as my grandparents...
How dare you? No. I'm your family. I've never abandoned you.
No, it's that...
You should see the face he's giving me right now. Like, really? Do we really have to go through this again? You're not funny. Go on. Your grandparents.
Even as much they will throw out that they've done so much for me. They abandoned me in the moment where they turned against me and have turned against me. Mm. I feel abandoned by my mother that she can't even suck it up and apologise to me for her actions. I feel abandoned and hurt. Mm. I feel left in the lurch. And it isn't just because I put the line in the sand. It's they're really not willing or wanting to make amends. It's that social, and also the thing about the social aspects. So many times before in my life, growing up, I've always been anxious about what's the correct way to feel. I've never known how to feel properly. I've never known how to commute my emotions properly. Why are you upset? Oh, it's because, and I've said this at college, a friend died and everything's like, oh, okay, I get you. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm actually very depressed. I hate my life and I want to die. I want to be that dead friend that doesn't exist. Just to get people off my back. It's like they get too close. Like someone said to me, oh, you look like you'd be on holiday, but it looks like it was the most depressing holiday ever. And that's when wacky, hyperactive Zach comes out. I don't want you to see me at my most vulnerable.
Yeah. I had a really good point, but then you went on to say something else and I can't remember what you said now.
Sorry, I didn't cut.
No. It's just that as you were saying something, I was like going to add something, but I wanted you to finish the sentence. Now I've forgotten it. Oh, bollocks, what were you saying?
And just that notion of friends. I didn't actually have any real friends, and when I did have a real friend, it turned out that he departmentalised me as some dirty secret and would often refer to me as his cinema buddy. And when I brought him into the fold of people that I generally did make good friends with via college and all that, and it outreached into the... it was a friend's friend, and they became more my friends. But even they've discarded me now. They show no interest. I have no friends. I'm a loner. And I think that's because I've not made life easy for myself due to social anxiety and, you know, being in denial of my autism. And it's actually okay to own up to your faults and what you have wrong with you.
I think that because you just mentioned about how you didn't know how to feel and you didn't know how the right way to feel was. And I think there are so many people out there that say, well, you should feel this way in this situation, you should feel that way in this situation, and everybody is so different. And it really frustrates me if somebody says to you, you know, you don't look good, are you okay? And you say, no, do you know what, I'm really struggling right now, I'm really having a hard time. And they go, why is that? Well, sometimes there isn't a reason.
No.
Sometimes it's a chemical imbalance. Sometimes actually, subconsciously there's something going on. There's something we're reminiscing on or we're thinking about, but we haven't yet processed that in our minds to say, yeah, that's you know, this is hurting me, this is upsetting me. So it's so frustrating because there are so many norms that are supposed to be adhered to with regard to how to feel when and what you should feel and blah blah blah. And I remember when my dad died, I went back to work. I went to work on the day actually, but I went home, and I went back to work the day after, and everyone looked at me like, what are you doing? And it's like, well, I need to grieve in a different way, and I can't look at four walls. And I used to talk about it quite early on, you know, even before the funeral. People would say like, oh, are you alright? And I go, yeah, well, yeah, my dad passed away last week. And everyone's like, you said it, you spoke the words. And it's like, yeah, because if I don't, it's not going to be right. I can't internalise this shit. But everybody, and still now, people look at me like I'm fucking nuts when I talk about my dad. And it's like, he's been dead for nearly 5 years. You know, and it's like, I can't believe you're talking about it. How can you talk about it? And it's like, well, that's the only way I can cope with it, is by talking about it. But everybody deals with things differently. Everybody processes things differently. And everybody shows their emotions in different ways and feels different things. And that's why it's horrible when somebody turns around to you and says, I know how you feel. No, you don't.
No.
You know how it feels to be you when you've lost your blah, but you don't know how I feel. And that's where...
And all that influx of, you can relate, but you can't feel that person's...
No, it's like if somebody turned around to me and went, I lost my dad too, that must be really hard for you. Great, thanks. But if you say, oh, my dad died too, I feel your pain. It's like, no, you don't.
No.
You don't, because it's different for everybody. And I think this is the thing with society. It's like, well, if you don't react in the way that you're supposed to, it's not right. And it's like every single person.
And you tell those lies to yourself, and you build up those walls yourself to protect others, or you think you're protecting others as well.
Yeah, which is what interests me actually about some of the elements of autism, because, you know, it do not get me wrong, it's a horrible situation to live with. Your brain is literally different. But there are some things you've said to me before where you're like, you know, I feel angry randomly, and I'm like, everyone does. But it's like you're taught to believe that because you're autistic, that when you feel angry, it's wrong to feel angry. And there's an element of like, if everybody just stopped doing that, maybe we'd all be much
telling
better.
You how you should feel, how you should cope with it, how you should departmentalise it.
Exactly.
It's like, and with autism, you do misplace emotions. Something that's so infinitesimal can be huge. Like with me, my focus in life growing up was always books, and there was always an order to it. My sister would deliberately go out and touch my films or ruin my books to tip me over, knowing that will trigger me, and that's when I'd blow up. And then it would be easy then to then say, well, you're just a spastic. You're losing your shit over nothing.
But there is an element to...
Also, my sister was a massive bully and cunt who basically tortured me growing up.
Was. You just said was.
Is. They don't listen to this. They don't give a fuck. I have nothing to do with them. But
No, it's just, I was just correcting you because you said was.
Is. Shit stirring turd.
But the thing is because there are so many social norms, there's an element of, it doesn't matter whether you're autistic or not in this circumstance, people react to things differently. If you know, when I was a kid, if you didn't do the things, I was very organised. Look at the videos I used to do with my friends. you know,
it's no quotation marks. She was your friend.
Oh, yeah,
and is your friend.
But my point is I don't know why, because I didn't treat her like a friend. But if she didn't do it the right way, I used to flip out. That's very similar to how you'd react if somebody ruined your books. And this is the thing, it's like, it doesn't actually matter whether you're neurotypical or you're neurodiverse or whatever. There are social norms about how you react to certain things, and that's not right.
No, exactly. And this movie is just, I feel it's wholesome. It brings a lot of feelings to the front. This so much for a quick review.
I know, right? I haven't shut up.
But it does. It brings things. It comes to the surface, and you've got to fish it out, and you've got to recognise it. And it's good to feel these. And this is what I love about cinema. It's cathartic. It brings out you know, a lot of repressed stuff, things that need to be tackled and cried over.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we go to movies that we know will make us cry.
Yeah.
Because
that's
it
why we watched The
alleviates.
Notebook. Come on now.
I haven't watched that in full, so
Maybe not.
no.
Well, maybe when you don't have so much PTSD, we will watch it.
PTSD, yeah, well. It's tough, and I think this is a beautifully made, well-intended movie, and those who are cynical and, you know, vicious and spiteful and vitriolic, I think that you're ignorant. You're ignorant, or it's just a movie that's so easy to pick on because of performance choices or screenshots, or because it doesn't adhere to how you have been told to cope. I think what Ben Platt gives is one of the most honest, accurate portrayals. I mean, he didn't get fuckloads of Tonys for nothing.
No.
But this movie is a 5-star masterpiece. It is. It if you want good music and an uplifting experience, though, you know, it is bittersweet.
Yeah.
There is a broader message inlaid.
Yeah.
Some is heavy-handed, but it has to be because you're within the parameters of a musical.
Yeah.
The use of music is ingenious. The use of character development, it's soulful and it's necessary. And I think this is a really powerful movie that a lot of people have sidelined because Ben Platt is 37. He's 28 years old. Have you seen...
He is 1 year older than you.
I know. And it's weird to think that people seem to bypass... Do you know all those television series you watch where kids are playing kids, like The In-Betweeners? They weren't actually school age. They're like in their 40s now.
Also, I mean, we need to find a photo, but when you shave off your facial hair, you could quite easily pass for a kid in year 11.
Yeah.
Easy.
I know.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
No, no. It helps that I'm fat. With a double chin.
Well,
Looks like puppy fat. But as a musical, as a piece of cinema, as drama, as a projection, and it is a movie made for people who are, and I think a lot of those negative critics don't want to be taken by. It's almost like musicals is below them. You're coming into this with a negative outlook anyway.
musicals are below me, man, but I fucking love this film.
How many stars would you give it?
A 5.
A 5. It's emotional, it's tender, it's funny, it's real.
I missed a bit.
And Laura missed a bit in my hair. But this, as you can tell, it's a big, deep discussion. It can open up topics, and I think mental health needs to be spoken about. It doesn't need to be dictated, like we've said. We don't need preachers and lecturers about, this is how mental health should be handled. Each of you, individuation. And I think this is what reality forgets. You're not part of a herd, no. We are our own selves, our own feelings and our own coping mechanisms and our own faults. But anyway.
Don't forget to like,
share,
and subscribe
to Articulate Warbling.
YouTube channel.
Sorry, do it.
No, it's fine. It sounds better that way.
Thank you very much. And as the darkness goes crashing in...
You are not alone.
You are not alone.